What is up, y'all? Welcome to the first episode of Rap Cap, where I just go over some details that I did like and disliked. And there were a lot of dislikes for the home opener. There were, many things that we were looking forward to, a lot of new guys, and, the old heads. And the most disappointing part of tonight was actually the old heads. OG, the OGs, the OGs did not perform. OG played, his shots were just not going in. And Fred too. Fred was having a terrible shooting game. I think he went like 1-9 for his threes. It was just not Federico's night. It wasn't our night in general. We were down 30 points at one point. It was but I mean, it showed that we had the ability to come back, from a 30-point deficit to I think we cut it down to like 10 at some point. Yeah, around 10. And it was quite terrible. But it's just the first game, There's still 81 games left. It's just game one. But let's get to the first point. And the first point is Gary Trent played some amazing defense. And I'm talking about he was playing like Fred. He was getting in there, He had a lot of deflections, he had a lot of stripaways, he caused turnovers for the Wizards quite a bit. Every time he was on the floor, he looked like he was giving a hard time for the Wizards. Now, he did not play that much. I think he played only like 17 minutes or something. Let's see. Yep, he played 26 actually. Decent actually. But again, he only had 6 points. 6 points in those 26 minutes. Great defensive job today, but slacked in the shooting department, and we were all lacking there. But I liked it. I like that he's showing that he's not just a shooter. He can play great defense, so that's great. Hopefully he can play like that for the rest of the season, like that much of a great defensive ability. That would be ace. Now, something I really disliked about this game was that we're still struggling with centers. Montrezl Harrell, Trez was dominating us, especially Ken Burch. He was manhandling us. We all know who Trez is. He's a dog. So it wasn't too surprising that he was that dominant, but you would think with this, it's basically a meme of 6'9" guys. Our whole team is 6'9", positionless, and everyone can guard anyone. Didn't seem like Trez cared about that at all. No one could defend him. Not OG, not Precious. Precious tried, but he was a lot of the team got 4 fouls by the third quarter. Scottie was in his 5th foul, and that's also a thing with Scottie. I feel like Scottie has to really get into how the refs call these fouls nowadays. In this league, it's not high school, it's the NBA, and he has to get used to it. I might be biased, but there were some bad calls tonight. There was just. But you know what? That's part of the game. Can't complain about that unless it's someone punched him. Okay, but whatever. Yeah, Montrez was dominating us, and it was hurtful to watch Kem try to defend him, and he just it was sad. And Kem isn't a traditional center either. He's a small center as well, so not too surprising that Kem couldn't handle him, but. There's that glaring hole, that center fiasco where we can't really defend against the Jokers and the Rudy Goberts and Giannis. So that was sad to see. My third point is that defensively we looked so confused. So many times during the game, I saw an open man because we didn't switch properly. I don't know what it is, but I mean, all of our guys are defensive minded and they should be able to switch properly, especially with Nurse on their ass all the time about switching and, defensive and all that stuff. So it was quite shocking to see how bad we were switching on defense, like especially the first half. Maybe the second half we did a bit better. It might have been just the nerves. Next game might be totally different, but home opener tonight, there were like times where it was just an open lane and they would just shoot the three or just drive it in. Honestly, they weren't even shooting that well from 3-point range. They weren't shooting well at the 3-point range, but they didn't have to. They had so many points in the paint, also from that open man just driving it in and just easy buckets, which is bad. We don't want to see that. We want to, if they're gonna get a bucket, I want to see them work for that bucket. I don't want an open lane. It was bad. Fourth thing, offensively, we did not look creative. Like, geez, it felt like every possession, not every possession, but a lot of the possessions, it felt like there was like 3 seconds left on the shot clock and we were just like, okay, we don't know what to do, let's just chuck it up. And that's what we resorted to, and that didn't work because we were shooting. It was like I was shooting for the team, which is bad. It's bad. It's terrible. Like first half, we weren't really completing plays. It felt like we weren't running plays. Like the plays did not finish or even start. I feel like we were just passing it around until we had to shoot, and that's what we did. It was brutal to watch. It felt like no one could really get a bucket in, but then our savior from Rexdale came. You don't know. So the three usuals, I cover the best performance, the worst performance, and the sixth man performance. And best performance, honestly, there weren't many good performances today. So choosing someone to be the best, it's not a great award today. But it has to go to Scottie Barnes, which is great. He's our fourth pick. Come on, he's Scottie Barnes, right? We expected a lot from him, or a lot of people do. I don't think they should, because it's literally his rookie year, and unless you're like, Kobe had a terrible first in a couple of years, so honestly, you shouldn't expect Scottie to have an amazing season. But anyway, he had a very decent game. Now, point wise, he wasn't going crazy. Threes, he shot 1 3, missed, surprising. But defensively, he was locked in. It felt like he was kind of off his game though, defensively even. He did not look like, I don't know, he looked like he was, I think it was nervousness. It must be like, he seems like he doesn't get nervous, or he's just a kid who just gets pumped up and isn't really phased with all that stuff. But it definitely seemed like he had some jitters. Did not look like he played to his potential, and it's just the first game of his career, so it's fine. But still, he shined quite well compared to the other Raptors tonight. He was just mediocre in everything, which is unfortunately the best thing that he could have done today, because everyone else was just below average. He had 12 points, tied for the most points on the team with Fred, who I'll get to soon, unfortunately. He did have like 6 turnovers, which is pretty bad. But he plays a point guard position, right? He's supposed to. So point guards usually turn over the ball more frequently because they have the ball, and blah blah blah. But still, 6 is quite a lot. But he had a steal, an assist. He was 1 rebound away from a double double. That would have been great. His free throws, he got 2 out of 3. What more can you ask? It would have been better if he got to the line more, but it didn't seem like the refs were going to give him those calls. So, and his field goal percentage was 38%, 38.5% actually. Not bad at all. Not great, but not bad at all. But everyone had a poor shooting night tonight, so I can't really blame him. But it's great to say Scottie Barnes was the best player on our team for the first game. Now, to the worst performance. I couldn't decide. Unfortunately, we had 2 really off night players, and they are our veterans. OG and Fred VanVleet had a terrible game. It was atrocious. Fred just couldn't buy a bucket at all. Like, every time he shot, I was like, this is not going to go in. And I was right, it did not go in. He had how many? Let's see. He was 1 for 9, 11% from 3. That's not something I want to see from Fred VanVleet. He was also 5 for 20. So he was 25% in field goal percentage. That is also terrible to see. He had 3 turnovers. Again, he's a point guard, so come on, he's going to. He did have 4 assists, but it's Fred VanVleet. I expected a little bit more assists from him, and I saw from Fred that he kind of reverted back to his old style, which is just run into the lane and just toss it up and it'll go in. Now, he is somewhat efficient in that, but he also misses a lot of those things, especially against big guys, and he was missing quite a lot tonight. In the preseason games, I saw him take more shots, just jumpers in the paint. That's what I wanted to see tonight. Just mid-range. Just take mid-range shots. That's all I wanted to see. But he reverted back to his Fred VanVleet focus into the basket, run, toss it up. Doesn't go in. Yeah, so it was kind of tough to see that. OG, his handling today looked kind of sus. It was not how I thought it was at this point, but it might have been just jitters. Again, I have no idea. But today it looked like he lost the ball a couple times. Not a turnover, but he just misdribbled it, and sometimes that just causes the play to die. Honestly, he just mishandles it and stuff like that, and he did that a couple times. Mishandled it. His shooting was terrible as well, just like Fred. He was 17% from field goal percentage, worse than Fred. Actually, worst in the team. Yeah, there was 3 for 17, 3 points, 22%. That's 2 for 9. Come on. Yeah, he did get a double-double, but it's not. It's one of those double-doubles that are it's like a Westbrook double-double, or a triple-double. No offense to Westbrook, but offense to Westbrook. I don't care about him. Yeah, so come on, like 10 rebounds, great. He had 6 defensive rebounds. They were like some of them, or most of them, were just like, it pinged off, and so he was just at the right place at the right time. And he had 11 points. So 10 rebounds, 11 points. It's not a good double double. You know what I mean? It's not a, oh wow, he got a double double. No, it's just he got a double double. And I don't really like to look at plus minus, but he was minus 21, and Fred was minus 22. Again, I don't really like the plus minus, but whatever. But the savior, the man's from Rexdale, he was definitely the sixth man of the night. Like, that guy, I mean, he didn't have many minutes. He had 12 minutes. He had 12 minutes, 7 points. But the first shot he took, buzzer beater, just like preseason. Half court, running up, 2 seconds left, buzzer beater, bam. Rexdale. From the sounds of it, the Scotiabank Arena just blew up. It goddamn, he set the tone. I felt like he was gonna have a good game right after that. I was like, that's his first shot. Well, I mean, I thought about the same thing when Fred took his first three, and that was his last three. His first shot was a three, went in. I was like, oh well, looks like Frederico's back. Nope. Rest of the game, 0, 0, 0, 0. No more threes. Anyway, Dalano, he showed. I thought he would go to the G League or something like that, because I just felt like he wasn't ready. I felt like he rushed a bit too much when he played, but it kind of worked for him tonight. I don't know why. It felt like he knew how to rush in the proper way, and that's what he did. He drove in well, got some buckets. Defensively, he played quite well. He was on Beal for a couple times, and Beal turned it over to him, I'm pretty sure, or he caused a lot of problems. His length is an issue for, well, you could say that for every person on our team, but today it seemed like he was the one who used his length to his advantage the most. And he only had 12 minutes. I have to bring that up. He only had 12 minutes. And I don't really blame Nick Nurse for only giving him 12 minutes. It's Dalano. Come on. He's 46th pick, we're not expecting him to get 25 minutes per game, Gary only had 26 minutes today. So you can't really expect Dalano to get 26 and stuff like that, but if he keeps playing like this, he deserves minutes. Svi, he deserves Svi Mikhailuk, his minutes if he's gonna play like that, because he was thoroughly impressive. Now, can he produce like that for the rest of the season? I have no idea. Probably not. Honestly, I think it was just a one and done. It was just his night tonight, even though we lost and he only had 12 minutes again. But it was great to see. Tonight it was a game to see that the old guard is there, but sometimes it won't be their night, and we need the young guys to pick it up, and we saw flashes of that. Scottie Barnes had a great game. Not the best game, but decently good game. Dalano showed up. Boucher, Boucher's probably not even going to be here for in a couple seasons, but Chris Boucher seems like he's back to usual. 17 minutes only, but he played decent, but he's still struggling with the finger, right? He just had surgery and stuff. But yeah, we need to see the old guys, show up. They need to show up, basically. But that is for today. And I hope if you guys have any suggestions on improving on how I should improve, please post it on the comments. All right, well, thank you for listening to the first episode of RapCap. Hopefully you guys like it. I kind of like this style too, where there's very minimal editing and cuts, just me just talking, kind of just chilling basically.